Good day, folks. This is Greg, Judy, Green Pastures Farm. Today, we're doing a physical measuring of our winter stockpile. It's spring growth. Spring's here in a couple of 3 weeks. It is March 4th, and the green is starting to show up. We got about an inch, almost 2 inches of new growth there. And I wanted to show you this paddock. I have to apologize for the wind. I'm trying to keep the camera up against my body. Anyway, this paddock was grazed in the middle of January, and this is actually March 5th. And so we're about 3 weeks, give or take a few days, from having what we call the spring flush take off. And this grass will be up there, 8 inches tall here in about, I'd say, around 3 weeks. Anyway, I wanted to take you across the road here, the driveway. We're on our big farm. This is called Docks. It's actually made up of four separate farms that are all connected together. And keep from getting shocked. Over another gate. So this is a paddock that the cattle haven't grazed yet. And so the cattle would have been in here in August, September, October, actually the middle of October, about 2 weeks before deer season, the fall deer season, fall rifle season. So this has had a good long rest, no rain basically. Our last measurable rains were in August. And it's been a pretty dry winter. I mean, we've been getting a little rain. As you can see, the ground is now moist. But we haven't had enough rain to write home yet. But I wanted to show you something. So this is with basically no rain, but we're starting to get temperatures now is coming up. Look at that. There's actually blades up there over 4 inches tall. Folks, this is all new growth. 4 inches of new fescue growth. And it's not all fescue. There's some orchard grass in here too. I'm telling you what, those cows hit this, they're going to be doing backflips. We're coming this way. So we're in March mud month. That's what we typically call March, is March mud month. And to me, it's the hardest month to manage through in the entire grazing season. It can rain, and I mean it can just get mucky. And that's the times you pray you've got some hills on your farm, which we do. This is hilly ground right here. Bottom land is down below. That's the famed cocklebur field down there. When we leased this in 2001, just 22 years ago, that was all in soybeans. And when they combined the beans, it all came back as cockleburs the next year. Solid stand of cockleburs. Now you can see this has got a little bit of ironweed in it. Where I clipped it, I would have mowed this off in July. The last of July, 1st of August. See the stalks in here. The cows are going to be able to come in here, and they're going to get some green. And so they're going to start basically getting turned off by any hay that you unroll. They're going to a lot rather eat this than hay. And so what we're doing is trying to buy time to get through March mud month. And so we're stretching out our winter stockpile because we didn't grow as much because of the rain. See, this hasn't been grazed all winter. It's not very tall, but it's still got, see this dead stuff right here? So when the cows reach down and get them a bite, my hand's a bite, and they don't bite it off, they rip it off with their tongue. Okay, that ripping action sends a pulse down through the plant and actually gets the roots all excited, and all the microbes living on the hair roots, they all get busy. Anyway, so the cow's going to get a little bit of this dry matter with each bite of green. And so our cow pats are stacking up just beautiful. I'm not going to go over where the cows are. We can walk over there close, but it's, oh gosh, there's 3 or 4 wires between us and the cow herd. But what we're doing is we're giving them a strip of this, not a very big strip. I would say an acre. There's 282 head in there. And we just took out 21 bulls. So that would be 262, 261. There's 261 head. We weaned the bulls, so they came out March 1st. All the bulls that didn't make bulls, we banded, put a bander on them. We really like the using the bands, the cow crate. It just works good for us. We've never had a failure with it. And you put the rubber band on with a special tool, and the testicles fall off in about 3 to 4 weeks. You do need to give them a 5cc tetanus shot. Highly recommend that. We've never lost an animal banding them. I know people that have, and they did not use the tetanus shot. So take it for what it's worth. It's $1.50 versus a couple $1,000 animal. I want to look in this manure pit here. It's starting to get, actually I scraped frost off the window this morning, so I don't think the worms are up yet. Oh yeah, they are. They're just starting. They're just starting. You can see the little buggers. Just give us about 7 to 10 more. Oh my God. Oh yeah, they're in here. Just give them 7 to 10 more days. Let this ground get just a little bit warmer. I'm going to show you some serious earthworm activity. It's still cold. I mean, we had to scrape ice this morning. And I had my Carhartts on, and a scarf, and a stocking hat, and a coat. And you know what? I was comfortable. I wasn't hot, and I wasn't cold. I was comfortable. But the bulls were put in this paddock right here next to me. You see the cattle closest to it, those are all bulls. They're now 9 to 10 months old. And the cows are next to them over there. They can still sniff noses. But it's been 3 days. Those bulls are not bawling. They're basically already weaned because they were born last April, May. But they spent the winter with the cow, with their mother. And any cow worth her salt ought to be able to do that. They ought to be able to keep the calf on them and wean them off March 1st, because if you don't get those bulls out of there from March and through July, you don't want anything breeding from March and through July, because you're going to have December, January, February, March calving. And now you're going to be out there in the freezing rain, snow, below 0 temperatures, trying to get your newborn calves thawed out, and they may even be dead. Don't fight Mother Nature, folks. Just don't do it. Because Mother Nature will whip you. You don't live long enough to whip Mother Nature. So why fight her? Watch the natural seasons, and when wildlife drop their fawns, and just duplicate that. Don't make life hard. We've got a lot of stockpile on this farm yet before we go to Judy farm. This is the first year that we've ever been this far into our rotation. We're not even to the Judy farm yet. It doesn't look like we're going to get there till April. Look at that. Yeah, it's brown grass, but there's green all up in through it. And the boys have already got this paddock split up into 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 paddocks in here. So basically from those white posts right there to those hay bales, that's a paddock for 261 head. Okay, for 8 hours. And when we move them, they get 1 bale. So we're giving them 1 bale. And we can tell that they're full because when we unroll the bale, a lot of them don't even come to the bale. They go to the stockpile, and they're starting to eat this. They're starting to eat the green. So where am I going with this? if you graze your pastures down really low in the wintertime, I just measured the grass over the fence over there, and it was 1 to 2 inches. Where we haven't grazed, it's as high as 6. So your spring growth will always be faster if you'll take care of your winter grass. Don't graze it down to the dirt, okay? Because every inch you take off that's too low in the wintertime, you take it down to where you've only got an inch solar collector left, that's going to cost you 2 to 3 weeks of hay feeding in the spring to let your pastures get going. So how did we do it? We're in a drought, and we got rows of grass. We're using the hay to stretch out our pasture. That's what we're doing. And everybody says, well, hay, it's expensive. Well, grazing your pastures down to dirt is expensive, because now you're stuck feeding hay 12 months out of the year. And I've got people around that do that. They do. They feed hay 12 months out of the year. And they aren't making anything. It's just a hobby. It's a hobby. They like going out there, looking at the cows, unrolling the hay, or most of them don't unroll it. They just put it in the bale ring. And that's their stress reliever for the day. And that's just fine. If they want to do that, that's fine, but there's no money. You're not going to make a living on the land doing that. So if you look across that path, look at that green. See, they're not going to be in this pasture for another, there's 4 there. Put 5 and 9, 13, 18. So there's 18 more moves. They're not going to be here for another 9 days. And we're supposed to hit 68 degrees this week. I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. Because I can feel spring coming now. A week ago I couldn't. So Jan and I were at Donna in Banyans this last week in West Virginia, and Banyans in Donna's front yard where we stayed at there, my goodness, that grass is 4 inches tall, green. I'm jealous. Y'all are at least a week ahead of us. But anyway, I'm happy to be where we're at. I wouldn't trade this place in the country for any other here in central Missouri. And I'm gonna get out of here. I know people are gonna be complaining about the wind noise, but this is all natural. It's the way it is. And I don't edit videos, and I don't have a microphone or a snuffer. So y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all down the road next time. And hit that subscribe button all the way out. Thank you all.